Hello, this is Kaki Lee, and welcome to the Abundant Goddess Show, where I'll be sharing daily, bite sized pearls of wisdom I've picked up along my life journey that has allowed me to embrace and unleash my inner abundant goddess. And that's exactly what I want for you, to embrace and unleash your inner abundant goddess. I love talking about anything and everything to do with life, but I especially love talking about money, mindset, and energy, which is the main focus here. If you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe to my show so you don't miss out on your daily dose of wisdom from myself. And also follow me and let me know what you think on Facebook and Instagram at Abundance with Kaki Lee. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the Abundant Goddess Show and day 15 of my 40 Days to 40 series, where I share 40 things that I've learned in my life so far over 40 days. Today's pearl of wisdom is the first step to change is self-awareness, or self-awareness is the first step to change. If you've been following me for a while, you would have heard me talk about self-awareness and how important it is for you to develop that tool, that skill to create change in your life. 95% of people think they are self-aware when in fact they are not. There's actually a study that showed that of 5,000 people, 95% thought they were self-aware, but only actually 10 to 15% were actually self-aware. And the problem with self-awareness is that until you are self-aware, then it's really hard to create changes in your life. Because one, you don't know who you are and you don't know what you want. Because who you are has been determined by what people say you are, what you think you are, because of what other people say. Or what you want is because you've been programmed by society, by people around you, by your upbringing, by whatever, to tell you that you need these things, when in fact you don't. They're not your real desires. So being self-aware is really determining who you are and what are your desires. And most people don't know that because people are too busy to even take that time to really discover who they are. So they keep going and going and going, thinking that they're this person when they're not. And they're wondering why they're feeling frustrated and resentful and angry and getting depressed, is because they are going against who they really are. And some people are lucky. Maybe what people tell them and what they believe in actually aligns with who they actually are. But then they don't know what they want. And so they continue pleasing other people, not sure why they're stuck in the pattern. And it took me a breakdown, a meltdown before I started becoming self-aware. I always thought I was self-aware, but I wasn't really self-aware. I didn't really know who I was. Who I thought I was what other people told me I was, or what other made me feel I was. And, I found there's a few different types of people when, on the self-awareness scale. And there's no judgment in that. It's just that everyone's on their own journey and self-awareness will come at the right time for them, will show up. It doesn't really show up. It's just a muscle that they decide to build or not. But usually it takes a meltdown, someone dying, something around their life crumbling, or some big event before we actually take time to stop and actually go in and find out who we are. Self-awareness is really about connecting with yourself. So the different types of people that I've found through my life journey are the following. And there's, obviously those in between, but there's the people who know exactly who they are and what they desire, and they go out and create it. And in the last 2 years since I've started my business, these are the people that I meet mostly. And it's wonderful. And I love hanging around people with that energy because I want to be there too. I'm still working on it. Then there's those people who are self-aware, they know who they are, and they know what needs to be changed to create the life that they want, but they're too scared to take action. So they're just living in this self-awareness bubble and nothing changes around them because they're just stuck in this pattern. And I know quite a few people like that. Then there's people who have no idea who they are, but they know what they want, what they think they want. So they think they know who they are and then think they know what they want. So they just keep moving and things seem to be changing, but nothing actually really changes. And they're just constantly stuck in this feeling of like, there's something more. Or they're feeling that resentment or frustration, but not really sure what it is. And then there's the people who have no freaking clue who they are, what they want, and they just continue to people please, continue to just bob along the water, letting the tide take them to wherever the tide decides to take them. And whichever category you fit in, like I said, is part of your journey. But you can choose today to start developing the self-awareness muscles. You don't need to wait until you have a meltdown, until someone dies, until something crumbles in your life before you develop self-awareness. Because if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling angry and you have no idea why, something's not aligned in your life. And until you actually take a step back and reflect and actually look at your life, nothing's ever going to change. And looking at your life and reflecting is fucking scary if you've never done it before. But I assure you that once you do it and you start creating those necessary steps to change your reality, it is so much better. And I've got a few tips that I've used to start, really developing my self-awareness muscles. First one is meditating. I am an on and off meditator. I used to really force myself to meditate, but now it's more like okay, I feel like meditating, so I'm going to go meditate. And when I do, it's so much more powerful because it's not this pushing energy of like, oh, I need to do this this morning or my whole day is going to be ruined. It's not like that anymore. But meditating allows you to create space to be quiet, to be with yourself and let the thoughts come and go, to make you understand all the craziness that's going in your head, all the different voices telling you to do this or to do that, or telling you you're not good enough. Journaling is another one. Writing, I love writing. So for me, this is a perfect one for me. Getting feedback, from your friends and colleagues at work. Some people think they're self-aware, but they actually have no idea how other people view them. I've done this before. I've asked my friends, like, what they think of me, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses? If they've got 3 words to describe me, what are they? And some of the things they come back with, I just never even thought, that was me. But that's how they saw me. And it was really nice. And then I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, I am. Or, okay. Other people see you a lot clearer than what you see yourself sometimes. But sometimes you might be playing that role to make them think that as well. So you need to be careful there. And, there's all those psychometric tests that you can do as well. They're fun ways to kind of find out a bit more about you. I have this tendency to go in and do it, and then I'll do it again and see if sometimes there's a few answers that might resonate. And I find psychometric tests, depending on the day and the time and, the moon, I might answer things differently. But I don't think it's different enough for it to change the results dramatically. Sometimes, for me, the results might change slightly, but not a lot. So that helps me to really gather that, okay, I am this or that. But tuning in to yourself, giving yourself moments of quiet, moments of time to reflect is really the best way to develop self-awareness. And one thing you can do is really be self-aware of how you talk to yourself. That's really a first most important step, because you want to change how you talk to yourself. Most of us talk to ourselves like we're the enemy. You wouldn't talk to anyone else like the way you talk to yourself. So maybe, one thing you can do is write down all the negative things you tell yourself each day. As soon as they come up, when you can remember, write it down and see how many times you tell yourself you're not good enough. You don't deserve that. You're stupid. You're fat. You're ugly. Your skin looks disgusting. All those things that you tell yourself, you're not as good as that person. There's a whole heap of things I can say, but everybody has those negative self-thoughts or self-talk. And writing them down allows you to see, wow, what am I telling myself? No wonder my life is like this. No wonder I feel like this, because I tell myself 10 times a day that I'm not good enough or whatever it is. And being self-aware has another magical property. It actually allows you to be more empathetic, to be more compassionate, because when you understand yourself more, it allows you to see people for who they are more as well. And everyone's on their own journey, so it's important to give them space for this process. And I really urge you to start flexing those self-awareness muscles, because if you want to create change in your life, then that's the first step, self-awareness. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if you're feeling like something needs to change, but you don't know what it is, take some time out and build that self-awareness muscle. Take the time out to reflect, or just sit there with your thoughts. 5 minutes a day, 2 minutes a day. I'm sure you have 2 minutes a day. And take note of what you say to yourself each day. Because once you start being self-aware, and then you start taking action to create your desired reality, then your life is going to look a lot happier, a lot more joyful, and be filled much more with love and gratitude and expansion. And that's the end of the show and day 15 of my 40 Days to 40 series. Please share this episode with anyone that needs to know that self-awareness is the first step to change. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my show, and remember to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Abundance with Kaki Lee. There's fun things happening there leading up to my 40th birthday on the 30th of May. Details of the first giveaway is already up, and it involves my latest co-authored book, Prosperity Codes. And lastly, if you're interested in working with me or learning from me to create multiple streams of income, send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram, or email me at hello@kakilee.com.